Jason Dudek is back now, hooking up devices to bring the system online.
The rough-in makes it really easy, as long as you know, when you put everything in the right spot and you come out and everything's right, you just go there, you find the wire, and you hook up the device. So the rough-in is very important, as long as you do it right.
That involves a few different contacts and detectors which feed information back to the main control panel down in the mechanical room. That's what actually triggers the alarm if there's a breach anywhere. And he's also putting in the keypads, which allows homeowners to arm and disarm the system.
Yeah, it covers all the ranges. If someone breaks a window, if someone doesn't break a window and they get in somehow, if you open the door, it goes off. So, it covers all the spectrums of the security system that one would need.
Now, Robert Rosengren is here to give us an idea of how the whole system is all set up. So do you want to talk a little bit about the devices that you might need to protect your home?
Certainly, Miriam. Well, first of all, what you want to do is create a perimeter around your house. We do that by putting in contacts. We've got recessed contacts on this one and a magnet on top of the door. So when those two are together, it's showing a closed contact. If somebody were to break open this door, kick it in, or if it was left open and come through when the system's armed, we'd have an alarm and the 85 decibel siren would then sound. The signal's going to go to the monitoring station and then the authorities would be dispatched.
Okay.
You always want to back up your perimeter with an interior trap, such as that motion detector up in the corner. That'll see out to about 30 feet. That's looking for heat and motion. It's a passive infrared. With all the glass that's here, you could contact each and every window. A better way to do that, and a more cost-efficient way to do it, is put in what's called a glass break. A glass break listens for the pitch, frequency, and amplitude of breaking glass. And then again, if the system's armed, sends a signal to the panel. Panel then trips the siren and sends a signal to the monitoring station.
And you have a couple other specialty devices, right?
I do. I've got what's called critical condition monitoring devices. We've got the water bug, which basically is put by a sub pump or a drain, and when these devices pick up moisture, it would then set off an alarm for critical condition monitoring. We also have the high-low temp. If it gets too cold in here, or if it got too hot, it would notify the monitoring station. We'd be able to send out the HVAC guy.
And of course, it's a really good idea to make sure you have a backup, so in case the power goes out or the phone lines don't work, right?
Exactly, and almost every panel has what's called a battery backup. It'll supply it with 24 hours worth of backup power. But another good thing to have is what's called a GSM unit. Typically cellular, there are radio ones as well. We're putting in a GSM cellular unit on this particular application, and that would end up sending signals to the monitoring station if the phone lines were cut or down.
Now, I know a lot of people are worried about false alarms when working with a system like this, so you want to talk a little bit about the keypad?
You want it to be user-friendly, as this one is. All you need to do is enter in your 4-digit code to arm the system or disarm the system. There are other feature sets that you have in this panel that you can go ahead and arm in the stay mode. Stay mode would be like at night, and that would leave the motion detectors inactive. So you can walk freely throughout the house and not end up tripping off a false alarm. If I'm leaving, I also have the quick feature where I don't need to enter in my code and I don't need to give my code to anybody. I can just push the away button when they're leaving and the whole system's going to be armed up. There's also the nice feature on this keypad that has the quick exit, and what that'll do is give you the same allotted time to exit, but the keypad's not going to beep. There's also panic buttons on here as well, which is nice. So if you had a fire in the kitchen or you needed the police out here, you can push these panic buttons and immediately it's going to send a signal to the monitoring station.
And then the door chime button, you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, the door chime's a nice feature, especially if you have children. If they're going through any of the doors or opening up a door, your keypad's going to give you a series of beeps so you can yell out, "Jackson, get back in here."
Where are you going? Nice.
Exactly.
Well, good. Thanks so much for your help.
Let's go see how Jason's doing on that GSM.
Yeah, definitely.